Solstice Fast, day 21. So it's the last day. And I missed most of it. I'd just woken up from a nap that started around 6 p.m. maybe. I wasn't expecting that. I'd put on some washing, just turned the heating on so that I could warm up the radiators for drying off the clothes. Woke up at nearly 10 o'clock. I've got another hour maybe until it's no longer the fast period. I mean, I'll still be eating my salad, which I haven't eaten yet. Spent the day, well, I went to the gym earlier, did a bit of exercise. Because I'd been eating the oranges last night and drinking the orange juice, and I was at the gym. I ended up, as I got there, I needed to use their toilet. And then when I came out, done some bench press and arm curls, started doing sit-ups, got about 66 into the 99 that I usually do. Needed to go to use their toilet again. I had don't want to go into too much detail, but definitely a clear out. And it got to the point then where I didn't even want to go back and finish off the other 33. I just chose that as a good moment to leave. I didn't want to go leaving a mess on anyone's equipment. So it's cool, actually. That was the first time this fast in which anything's felt like I should avoid being out in public for too long. As usually that's a thing you get warned about. That's something that can happen. They say you should, if you have to go out and do things, wear swimming trunks just in case. I've not needed to this time round. It's one of the bonuses to not working through a fast. So usually I've got my wits about me. I try and keep close to a toilet, but I haven't needed to this time round. And it was good that it only came about at the end. When I got home, I ate a big packet of dried prunes that had been partially rehydrated. As that's John Rose's advice, using it as the last stage of a fast, just to help push through and clear out anything else that might be causing problems, anything else that could be still clinging on for dear life. And spoke to a friend I hadn't spoken to much at all this year. I think I might have spoken to him at the beginning of the year. I was trying to call him a few times, but we just kept missing each other. And it was nice to catch up just before Christmas. He's a very dear old friend. He's someone that would be the Ron to my Harry Potter. We've been for probably 24 years, around about that. We've known each other. And we've lived together, we've worked together, we've been out to clubs together, we've done all sorts. It's nice to have a catch up. And talking to my mum for a while as well. I guess probably on the phone for about 4 hours in total. Didn't realise how much it took out of me. Felt quite tired afterwards. Was only expecting to lay down for a little while while waiting for the washing to finish. A few hours later, that's it. Woken up. Feel like I'll probably be awake all night now, which is not such a problem, as my partner has a very unusual sleeping pattern too. We'll be able to spend a lot of time together, eating, enjoying food. Past midnight, I'll be able to smoke again, so we can enjoy a smoke. And where I've had some rest, it's not likely to just knock me out. I probably won't be able to handle it. There's 21 days without. It's actually the longest I've gone. Last year it was only for a short period between the 20th and January 1st, maybe. I think I had some over the new year, but that was very restricted. I'd been let down by an employer and couldn't afford it. My partner was in a lot of pain. I was doing my best to make sure that she had every bit that we had, only having a couple of tokes here and there. But this was a complete abstinence from it. And that has contributed to having a very clear mind. Usually I would smoke during a juice fast, and I don't know, in my head I think where it gives you the munchies and things like that, it was just a chance to exercise extra discipline by not eating, even though you feel even more like eating. And presumably, if you build up an appetite like that, then something would be going on inside your body to try and find or generate food. But things are a lot better without, you tend to notice, because you feel more energized and motivated to get out and clean things around the house, which I think is a representative of as within, so without. As you're trying to clean up the temple inside, you're cleaning up the temple around you, which is definitely a visual representative. Like, I've noticed that at times when we've been having mass clear out of things that we no longer use, after a while of going through things, making a couple of bin bags to take out, you tend to feel that you need to go to the toilet around about the same time. It's like there's definite symmetry between your actions on the outside and the action on the inside. So yeah, this is a point where a lot of people in a solstice fast would be going dry fasting for 3 days or water fasting for 3 days during the period in which the sun is actually standing still. As the solstice actually stands for still standing sun, the sol meaning sun, and stice, which I believe means still or stationary. There's actually a lot of ST words that will mean stopping, standing, stillness, statue, stay, stick, stone, stern, maybe? I mean, that might fit more into the STRs, like strict, strength, strong. All of these have a vibe of being strong standing, quite solid sounding. So yeah, the solstice is a good time, like if you were to take a few days off and sit and meditate. And cleaning up your body beforehand enables you the powers to be able to meditate without distraction, as your body is very distracting. You find you get a lot of urges, and hunger is one of them, and other vices. Like if you have any addictions, they can also pull at your attention. Like, imagine trying to sit and meditate and your mind suggesting to you that you go have a smoke or make some food, or even get some things done that are on your list of things to do around the house. Your mind, the ego, prefrontal cortex, is the part of your mind that doesn't want you to sit in stillness and silence and meditate. It's the part of you that is always getting in your own way. So what they say is the you that is your own worst enemy. And it does help to quieten your mind, that side of your mind. A bit like how I found when doing exercise at the gym would send the blood rushing around my body. And then when I do the speed round of the language learning app that I play, I'm able to do it more fluently because it's through recognition and from memory. And it's sort of reminiscent of Odin, who removes an eye at the well of Mimir so that he's able to uh, access that knowledge. So ego means I in Latin, and the prefrontal cortex is the home of the ego. That is what they call the ego death. Now, obviously, you don't get an actual ego death. What you get is dominance over your ego. Your ego will test you. If you pass the test, it will respect you, and you are able to have the ego working for you, not against you. And that is Peter Pan at the beginning of the film where he's battling with his shadow, putting his shadow in place. That's the idea. You don't remove your ego entirely. Every day you will wake up and your ego will be with you. It's a bit like saying every day you wake up, you've got a butthole with you. You can't separate from it. It's just your other side. And it's not sensible to people saying about I've had an ego death. All I hear is I killed my own butthole. And it makes no sense to me. It's like, no, you didn't. Your ego's probably tested you and you've not passed because you think that you're in control of it, and your ego's allowed you to think this because you're still doing what it wants. You're still being tested and you're failing the test. Every day you wake up, it's another test. And if you manage to succeed, the ego works for you. That's the get behind me, Satan. That's the part of the brain that is whispering into your ear like the snake. They say the Kundalini and the Kunda buffer. This would be the Kunda buffer, the snake that's interested in your downfall, the snake that's interested in you having the animal urges, the snake that loves the material realm, the snake that would be representative of the number 6 rather than the number 9. Anything to pull you down to the physical world, keep you here. Want you to play into and lean into all of your desires so that you give in and accept the temptations as something that you want to experience. So the way to beat this is do not comply. Just recognize that you don't need these things. And much as I can see this and feel this, I'm not here trying to have the Kundalini awakening and go through the extra solstice 3 days to try and sit in pure stillness and silence and raise the chrism mile. That's not what I do my fasting for. For me, it's about cleaning up the temple. This is something that I will try at a much later date when I feel that everything inside of me is glistening clean and ready. For now, I'm just enjoying the journey, because that's the best thing that I feel I can do at this moment. We don't know what the future has in store. Next year is going to be a very tough year. It's the year of the snake. It's going to be... The snake is the 6th animal in the Chinese zodiac. It's going to be very intense around self-satisfying thoughts. A lot of people are going to be getting deeper into AI and having robots to serve them, or in some cases to have sex with. It's going to be very fake, very AI based. Cryptocurrency is likely to shoot up. It's going to be worth a lot more. A lot of people will make a lot of money on it, but then that money won't get them very far because a lot of the things that they'll be interested in buying are going to be very expensive. So I think that a lot of people will be taking advantage of the money that they do make to get more automatic things in their house, and things will probably go good for a while. It's only when you say something that goes against the grain, then in your own home, you realize that they're listening into you on these Alexa devices and other AI devices, and they can decide whether or not your appliances work or don't work. There's a lot of things along those lines that I think are coming. Plus, the narrative has lost its hold on people. There's a lot of people that recognize the media for what it is now. It's like that snake that whispers into your ear, that shaitan, the ego mind. It's doing its best to keep you down to earth. No, you're wrong. It's war. It's serious. Ah, it's fear. Nothing to fear but fear itself. It's quite interesting the connections that you have between fear and six. The 4 and 6 represent time. You tend to have 4 seasons. Each of those seasons has 6 letters. Unless you're in America, one of them has 4 letters. Spring, summer, autumn, winter, or spring, summer, fall, and winter. You got the 60 seconds in a minute, 60 minutes in an hour, 24 hours in a day, which makes up 6. There's 24 is 6 times 4, which is the 4 segments of the day, same as the 4 seasons. 4 is form, time is a 4-letter word, season is a 6-letter word. They're very entwined. And even though this world is full of dark things, I'm not looking to escape it just yet. I don't feel like that's my mission. I think my mission is to live my best life, be a shining example for anyone watching. Hopefully I'm able to do that. If not, then I'll keep on improving until I can. And other people may one day just have something connect in their minds that will enable them to make this jump. I'm not worried about other people getting there before me. I'd be quite happy. I'd be quite happy for anyone to succeed, especially then if I've managed to help in any way. I feel really grateful for the opportunity to do that. So for me, spending time with my loved ones is most important to me right now. Taking the time to spend with them while they're here, just in case things do get really bad next year. So there's no real telling what's going to happen. It's just recognizing the symbolism that's attached to these things and being as best prepared as you can. So yeah, the best part of the fast is the clear-mindedness that I felt. It's been much better this year than any other fast I've done, and I think that that's because I abstained from cannabis too. And even though I will probably have a smoke with my missus, a smoke with my mum when I see her, I don't think I'll be able to or even want to go back to smoking it every day. And if I am still smoking it by the time it hits Lent in February, then that'd be a time when I go 46 days without. Although the way it's looking at the moment, I don't think it'll really be a problem. It's something that I think should be used as plant medicine for a mind expanding spiritual journey that happens once in a blue moon, maybe, as opposed to an everyday recreational thing. It was quite nice when I was working a lot and putting my muscles through a lot because it's a good muscle relaxant. I don't feel like I need it, and it definitely doesn't serve using it for my mind every day. So that's helped me a lot. That's something that could be considered an addiction I've had since I was 14, and it has no hold on me at all now. So that was a win. The worst part about the fast, feeling my heartbeat during the water fast, that got quite irritating. It's nice having the sensitivity to be able to feel your heartbeat and feel your whole body vibrating, feeling the sensitivity being at its peak, but you can't switch it off. And sometimes you're sitting there and relaxing, and all you can hear and feel is this throbbing, and it's like it's in your head, it's in your whole body, and that does get irritating. It was good because I was able to focus on breathing deeply, and then I'd be aware of how fast my heart was beating, so I could slow down my heart, slow down my nervous system. It's easier to get into um, states of meditation, states of relaxation. But it was annoying that you can't switch it off. Sometimes it's not nice to be that sensitive. See, it means that you would feel absolutely everything. And I mean, I can deal with being sensitive to a lot of things on the inside. I got used to feeling my digestive system, which was something that I hadn't felt for years until I'd done the first 80-day fast. And then I started realizing that I was that numb inside that I couldn't tell. Now I can kind of feel where food is at and the stages of a journey through my intestine. And having that level of awareness with your own body is quite scary when you're not used to it. But the worst part was definitely feeling the heartbeat. That just after a while feels like you're being followed by a drummer that just doesn't stop. It's almost like that constant drip of water in the middle of your forehead torture that was given to Loki. Yeah, Floki in Vikings, Loki in Norse mythology, I believe, and I think it was his wife that was holding a bowl. It was a drip of acid, I think, in the mythology in Vikings. It was just a drip of water, which would be very annoying. Gets louder, heavier the more it hits you. So yeah, that was the least favorite part of the fast. So other than that, there wasn't really. I mean, there's the obvious restriction on what you're able to eat, but after a while, you barely notice. It doesn't really feel like a chore at all. It's just something that you'll notice when it comes up in things that you see in films or on TV or in public. You see people eating things and it reminds you of what you can't have. That's when your brain starts to miss these things. Start to have your ego shouting at you or pestering you, reminding you of things, trying to get you to break the fast, trying to get you to steer away from it in any which way it can. So I'm looking forward to the next one now. Be glad that this one's over and at the relaxation period now, the freedom period. But still be looking forward to doing the fruit fast in February, where it's just going to be 46 days of drinking fruit juice, probably throw a few water fast days in there, have fruit on the weekends, solid fruit, so it's some fiber going through the system, not completely depleting the microbiomes in the gut. And a nice period in between where I get to experience a lot of cooking. That was another thing that kind of sucked about the fast, was when I tasted that chili that I was marinating the other day and realized how much it burns. It actually burned my lips, where I've reached a heightened level of sensitivity through the fast and not realized that the tolerance I built up to eating chilies just before the fast has gone. It's almost like they don't want us to eat them. I've got these self-defense mechanism releasing this chemical that stops your body from being able to digest it properly. So I've got some chilies there that may not get eaten. I'll see what it's like. I'm gonna see if it mellows out the burn by shallow frying them. I'll find something. I've got. I did put them in a pack of marinated tofu, so I'm just gonna see how spicy that tofu is, whether or not I'm capable of eating it. All of this will just be experiments now, which I enjoy doing as well. Food experimentation. I'm going to avoid bread again because I think that the pesticides they spray on the wheat that gets used in the bread that makes the sandwiches that you buy in shops, and the bread that you buy in shops it's coated with something toxic which doesn't agree with my system. My hand is in good condition at the moment, usually around this part in between my thumb and my index finger. Gets very dry and get loads of spots will appear, which indicates that there's something in my body that's reacting badly. And it usually flares up if I have things that are heavy in wheat and sugar or yeast, I think I've put it down to in the past. So I know that yeast in your system, in order to keep the yeast under control, your body allows candida to eat the yeast. And candida is what leads to things like tendonitis or athlete's foot, which are two things that I used to suffer from, which I haven't suffered from since I started fasting and cut out eating bread. And I'm going to stick to things like soda bread that my mum's making or has been making recently, which she can make a vegan equivalent of. It uses coconut oil instead of butter, which she uses homemade butter anyway, as it's a nice healthy alternative, especially with some of the butter out there, like Lurpak, using milk from animals that aren't allowed to fart anymore because cow farts are the enemy, people. So, like, nothing to do with the industrial age. It's all them cows farting in the fields. So yeah, the next few weeks, especially, looking forward to trying not many different foods with heightened sensitivity in my taste buds and being able to determine how foods make me feel on the inside. It's how I've realized things like potatoes make you feel quite heavy on the inside. Things like pasta make you feel heavy on the inside. Things like rice can make you feel heavy on the inside. Then I try out things like using courgette to spiralize it to make noodles, which is what we call courgette. I think they call it zoodles in America, as courgettes are known as zucchinis. The lightness and fact that it's just veg that you're eating, it means you've got the texture of noodles. but then it's lighter on your stomach, and it feels a lot better throughout the course of a day. I know that when you're used to eating a standard Western diet or standard American diet, it's nice to feel that heaviness in your stomach. That's what tells you feel full. But after doing fasting, you recognize these things as something that makes you feel heavy. And now that I'm at this stage of sensitivity again, I can start learning again, or even further, what things will make me feel heavy and what things enable me to still feel light. I'd be interested to see how other root vegetables have an effect. Over Christmas, I'll be making a hot pot which has carrots and parsnips in it, which are root vegetables. I'm going to be having things with ginger and garlic in it, which are said to bring you to the root chakra. So I'm looking forward to the results of those experiments. Might do some other kinds of experiments in the next fast where I stick to different colors of fruit every day, depending on which chakra I'm looking at activating or something. So, like yellow fruits for the solar plexus chakra, things like lemons, sure there'd be some kind of melons, bananas, pineapple, tomatoes for the Muladhara chakra, red apples, uh, Anahata chakra could have green apples, some green smoothies, some green juices. Think blueberries for the blue days. Whoa, gonna have to look for some purple fruits. Otherwise, Saturdays are gonna be a bit hard to find something to eat. But yeah, I'll put a bit more thought into that before I see if it's a feasible idea. So I'm gonna get off now and go make my salad and get ready for the end of this fast. It's been an emotional one. Nah, it's been fun. I've enjoyed it. I'm glad it's over now. And yeah, I hope you've enjoyed watching and being on this journey with me. I'm interested now in putting out some videos of a different subject, so hopefully you'll stick around for those too. Either way, thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more.